Remaining before race start in the laser gold medal event. The build-up has been very good for the Aussie Tom Slingsby, but as he explained just before heading out, it's not all a given that he'll finish on top today.
It has been a great week. It's not really a formality. It's you got 10 of the best guys in the world, and to have not a good race, it's very easy to come in the last few, but I've just got to start well, keep it clean, and try to use my speed to make sure I have a good finish.
So he's, you can feel it in his voice there. He's sounding confident, but it's never over in this game. And the lasers in particular, it's going to be, when you look at the depth of talent in this field, a very, very difficult race. Before we get going, let's check in with our man who is on the water. He was collecting a gold medal just 1 week ago. Will McCloy is with Matt Belcher. Boys, how are we looking for this one?
Mate, we're looking fantastic. The wind's come up, and Matty, 3 Aussies as well. How good's it going to be? I keep looking out here behind us, and there's just Aussie sail, Aussie sail, Aussie sail. How good?
Oh, it's fantastic for Australian sailing. It's almost like an Aussie final. They've only got minutes to go before the start. Certainly Tom just needs to keep it clean again. He sailed fantastic this week and just needs to keep him get around the course without any incident.
As we heard in that grab, of course it's not a formality, because sailing's one of those sports where you can come first, you can come last on any given day, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. No matter how much you wish you'd cross the line in first position, anything happens. I mean, as Tom said earlier, you've got the 10 best competitors from this week. Anything can happen, and certainly if he makes a mistake, he can certainly find himself at the back of the fleet.
What do you do with something like this? Do you match race your closest competitor, or do you just go out and try and do what you've been doing in all 10 races before this?
I think he just has to focus on himself. He's had a fantastic week. His ability's there. He's been performing really well, and if he sails a clean race, he should be fine.
Well, the wind's up, the waves are up too, and these are the kind of conditions Tom Slingsby loves, so let's hope that he can bring it home for us.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Matt. And we'll check in as the racing unfolds. 5 victories so far this week for Tom Slingsby, only outside the top 10 on one occasion. The race that he can drop, you can drop your worst result to determine the top 10 contenders for this final. And the likes of Nick Thompson, Paul Goodison, there are other Australians we should make the point to, Tessa, in this field. Some great talent.
This is the strongest placed Australia has ever been in the laser class, with 3 sailors in the top 10. Obviously, Tom Slingsby leading by 14 points. In 7th position, we've got Ashley Brunning, and in 9th position, Tom Burton, the 2 young teams from Sydney. So you can see 50 seconds to the start now. We've got quite a fight on here for silver through to bronze. There's only 4 points separating 2nd and 5th between the Germans, Britain's Nick Thompson, Austrian and New Zealand. So for Nick Thompson to take the silver medal, he's got to get 1 place between him and the Germans, so very tight on points.
Tom Slingsby just moving into place with about 30 seconds to go. They're stalled, almost in a holding pattern, if you will, not wanting to cross that start line. Under 20 seconds to go now in the final gold medal race of what's been a great regatta, a great World Championships, an amazing event here in Perth when you consider the volume of international sailors and all the boats here.
Typically with 5 seconds to go, they start to accelerate, sails on tight, start gun goes.
We're underway.
Clear start, no OCS, no individual recall. Tom will be very comfortable with that. He's just got to keep it clean here, low risk. He's off the start and out to his left-hand side, which we've seen. Local knowledge will tell us it's typically favoured in these sea breeze conditions.
Pavlos Kondidis, the Cyprian, was 10th coming in. He's to the far right of your screen. GBR3 is Nick Thompson. He's 3rd in the points race. He's going 180 of everyone else's choice here. As you can see from the graphic, he's elected to go to the right of what you guys have called the race course, the racetrack.
I think Nick Thompson struggled to hold his line off the start and was forced to tack out and go out to that right-hand side. So this is a high-risk strategy for him. It'll be interesting to see here, because typically in the previous races we've seen an advantage from the left-hand side and the change in angle close to the rock wall.
So Simon Grotteluschen, the German, is 2nd at the moment. He's only 3 points ahead of Nick Thompson. I'm talking in numbers terms here in the fight for the silver. Tom Slingsby about 7th or 8th.
Yeah, Grotteluschen will be very happy with his performance so far in this championship. He was 64th at the last World Championships, and he's only ranked 29th in the world. He's 25 years old, and something must have clicked. It's like he's found his comfortable sailing style and things are starting to work for him, because he's sailed outstandingly this week.
Now we've seen a change of direction here from Slingsby, Matt. There's some great stuff that goes on in this class as well. Tom's very good at helping the other Australians that have made it through to this final, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly. What a contrast between the two different classes we watched before with the 49er. The lasers here are so close in racing that any advantage that they can get, trying to get a little bit more pressure, a little bit less waves to slow the boat down, they're really looking for any advantage they can, and this will really come down to the last leg. Just
describe the wind conditions for us, Matt, relative to some of those earlier races. It was nigh on perfect for the 49ers, but the breeze about 16 to 17 knots back then. What about now? What's it like now?
The breeze has actually stabilised quite a lot. It hasn't really built, which is what we would probably expect in this direction with the sea breeze. We're looking at around about 16 to 18 knots. Perfect conditions for this class. There's plenty of waves, so there's going to be a lot of surfing for the downwind to be able to plane the boat. The conditions couldn't be better.
Matt, Tessa talked at the beginning of our coverage today about what Tom is like. We watch him here, Australia 1, Tom Slingsby. He has, oh, look how close it is, and there's been contact. The German crew and the Austrian. So Andreas Goritza, who's fourth in the points race at the moment. Boy.
He's opting to take a penalty here. He was in the wrong. He was on port on the giveaway tack. Couldn't quite duck behind Grodelusion, the German, on starboard.
Goritza.
Little misjudgment there, but he's done the right thing, cleared himself and back in the game.
Judging by that, Slingsby now is in the lead, starting to assert that position that we've seen all week. Matt, the point I was going to ask you is that he can. We'll look at this incident first here. So Slingsby in the clear, but then watch what unfolds.
You can see, though, coming into that incident, that the German here, in the middle of the screen...
Simon Grodelusion, 22.
Yeah, look, he was... Tom Slingsby got a lot of speed there and started taking his wind from the right, so the German just slowed down in boat speed and had to sail a slower angle. So the Austrian guy ducking in behind him and obviously didn't realise that he was going to have such a decrease in boat speed and didn't make time on distance for that, and collision there.
Bit to play out for with those guys too, because Andreas Goritza, who you're talking about, was only 4 points behind Grodelusion coming into this in that fight for silver position. So Matt, what's the body language like from Slingsby at the moment? He can be quite a physical, quite an aggressive sailor. Others take that inch perfect approach. He looks comfortable here right now.
Yeah, he's in a great position. He needs to be exactly where he is. All he needs to do is just to focus on himself and his performance, and just keep an eye on his competitors, which he's doing perfectly.
Now, Matt, the laser is a really physical class. You can see how hard these guys are hiking out over the side. What are the most important controls for them in these conditions?
A lot of it's just about steering. I mean, these, as you can probably see from the camera, these waves are absolutely horrendous. They're very, very difficult to be able to steer your boat through and get the fastest angle, and obviously the fastest in terms of your boat speed through the water. So they'll really be focusing on making sure, looking ahead, that you can be able to position the boat through the waves to get the maximum speed.
While we're focused on Slingsby doing a good job, what about the other Aussies, Matt, in Ashley Brunning and Tom Burton? There's some good stories there about those guys making the final. A terrific performance and some real sacrifices too to get here.
Oh, and it's a fantastic effort, obviously, from the Australian sailing team and the Australian laser squad. These guys train all year together. They share a lot of their knowledge and basically to be able to have such a strong teamwork, it's a just reward to have 3 in the finals.
So they're heading to the top mark. We'll come back to you, Matt, as we go. Slingsby in the lead. Sweden chasing hard there right at the moment. Johan Wigfors.
After a very conservative start from Slingsby, he was first into that rock wall, got the left pressure. Now he's got himself a great line. He's in the lead, coming in for their first top mark rounding. You can see him leaning in, easing off the Vang, easing the Outhaul and the Cunningham. On the downwind, they want to power that sail up, so they let all the controls off. They bring the centreboard in the middle of the boat out of the water, decrease the surface area, and start catching those waves.
12 is Tom Burton. They round that top mark. 22 from Germany, Simon Grodelusion, well down the order at present. And then the 11 from Great Britain, Paul Goodison. There's the Cypriot who did a pretty good job at the start, Pavlos Kondidis.
You can see on the downwind here, these guys sail a very low angle, almost directly to the mark. There's nothing in it. Sometimes they jibe even just to stay on a wave. They don't lose any speed or any angle difference by it. So Tom here has also got a dynamic style on the downwind, sails quite wide angles. You can see there, sheeting the main sheet on, steering up, getting a bit of boat speed, and then weighing his shoulders out, hiking out over the side and getting some speed down to the mark. So typically you'll see him work within a very wide groove, very dynamic in comparison to the other sailing styles out there.
That penalty really hurt Andreas Juritza, didn't it? He's at the back of the fleet at the moment. Grottolution has picked up a spot, moving ahead of Brunning.
Still very close. Nick Thompson here in second position. He was third leading into this race by only 3 points. So if he can get one place between him and the German Grottolution, he'll win that silver medal.
There's an interesting dynamic between between Tom Slingsby and the Brits. On the one hand, he's been out at dinner with one of them and gets on quite well, but there's quite a rivalry with the other. Just explain that.
There is. Look, Tom and Nick Thompson are great friends. They're training partners. They spend a lot of time together. They travel together throughout Europe. But Tom and Paul Goodison, Paul was the gold medalist from 2008 Beijing. They've had an ongoing rival. Tom was world number one. Tom's won every event there is on the world circuit. He's medalled in every World Cup event so far this year. He's got 3 world titles to his name, but unfortunately didn't go so well at the last game. So that rival's going to continue on, and this is an important medal race for Nick Thompson just to get an edge over Paul Goodison for their selection for the Olympics.
Matt, he's really working the boat at the moment. He might be leading this race, Slingsby, but looking for every possible advantage he can get from this laser as he works toward at the end of the downwind leg here to the marker.
Now you can see Tom's doing a lot with his body weight there, moving fore and aft in the boat, moves forward when he steers up to gain the speed, and then once he's surfing, you've really got to get that bow out of the water, and he moves a long way back in the boat. So just watch how wide his movements and actions are. He's working quickly with his hands to trim the main sheet to match his steering angle. Nick
Thompson getting very close here. He's made some good ground, Nick Thompson. So Slingsby not having it all his own way here in the final. Thompson really starting to close. He's found maybe a little bit more of an advantage, just that boat length or two further away from the rock wall. So they're neck and neck, the pair of them, as they head towards the bottom markers. Slingsby with just a slight advantage now as he rounds the buoy.
Yeah, you can see Tom positioned himself well coming into that bottom mark. He was inside, in between Nick Thompson and the mark, so Nick Thompson had to give him room to round. So Slingsby first around the bottom mark, heading into the rock wall where the crowds are all standing there. We've seen previously the strategy. There's a higher amount of wind, a big lane on that left-hand side, so these guys are pretty much chasing into it to get an advantage.
Gee, the congestions always must get your heart rate up, Matt, does it?
Oh, certainly. I mean, this is a fantastic position to be in. Obviously, when he's in front, I'm sure he's going to go quite close to the wall, soak up the atmosphere, hear a few of the crowds cheering him on, and you know, it's a fantastic position for him.
Yeah, he's really riding on that. Slingsby again hugs that wall. There's the Aussies. He'll be knowing that support is there. Thompson stayed more mid-race track at the moment, heading up towards that top marker. There you go. So Thompson not quite in front. Slingsby has the advantage. It's close between the Brit and the Australian. They're fighting for the gold medal here in the laser final. We'll come back with more. Here's a quick replay of Slingsby working the laser and waving to the Aussies. Yep, bring it home and bring home the gold. We've got a way to go in this one yet, and all the action continues right after the break. Andrew Murdoch, the New Zealander, New Zealand 33 in the middle of this group here as our coverage of the Laser final continues. Australia 1 is Tom Slingsby. He leads this race. Murdoch has just moved into second position in a great duel with Thompson. Now, the interesting thing here, Tessa Parkinson, is that Nick Thompson entered this race in the bronze medal position. He currently finds himself looking at a silver, but keeping a very close eye on Simon Groteluschen, the German, who was running second in the points tally coming into this one.
You're right, there was only 3 points separating them coming into this final medal race. So for Nick Thompson from Great Britain to win that silver medal, he needs to have at least one other boat in between him and German's Groteluschen. So close racing here. Our leader, as it stands, with the 14-point lead coming into this final race, Tom Slingsby of Australia. You can see there's a lot of wind out here on the course now. Slingsby just loves the strong wind. He's got this dynamic sailing style, works the main sheet hard. He's fitter than anyone else out there, can out-hike anyone, and just uses his body weight to force that boat to be so fast. From
the Central Coast, or Gosford in New South Wales, he started sailing at the age of 6. In terms of recent results, a first at Sail Melbourne in November, Sail for Gold, the regatta at Weymouth in June. That's critical. He was first there as well. And Weymouth, of course, up against the likes of Nick Thompson and Paul Goodison. That's home turf for them for their Olympic event next year. But he's had a tremendous, in World Championship terms, a tremendous string of results. He'd love to win it at home here. The immediate focus will then be on the Olympics. But after that, he's got a great opportunity with Oracle to sail in the America's Cup. This guy's got a huge future and has already achieved greatness.
He has. Around a month ago, he got the job as tactician for Oracle, the defender of the America's Cup, and he'll be working alongside helmsman Darren Bundock, who was the tornado sailor for Australia, who won silver in Beijing. So look, that's a huge step up, and it's sailing at a whole new level for these guys.
And a completely different kind of craft too. The big cats. We're looking at the Laser at the moment, a really popular class of yacht, more than 200,000 worldwide, sailed in 140 different countries, whether it's amateurs or experienced guys like this. They're a very versatile racecraft, aren't they?
They are. Look, and Tom's won 3 world titles in the last 5 years in this Laser class, so a lot of experience here. And Tom's really brought a new style to laser sailing. Back in 2003, his training partner was Michael Blackburn, silver medalist from Sydney in 2000, who's now coaching him for this Olympic campaign. And Michael Blackburn had a very different style to Tom. He sailed in a very narrow steering groove. He was lighter than Tom. He sailed a high groove a lot of the time and a lot more accurate. And Tom's just, very, very dynamic, very fit, very physical with the boat. Sails wide angles, trims, works a lot of main sheet and steering. So look, the other guys have now realised that there's possibly 2 ways of making the boat go just as fast, and it's all about finding your own style, being comfortable with your own technique.
Nick Thompson was terrific on the downwind leg before. He finds himself in close company at the moment, and Groteluschen has picked up a spot here. Thompson needs to keep one other competitor between himself and Groteluschen to ensure that he can get that silver medal. If Groteluschen were able to get that 3rd position, it would potentially put Thompson back to the bronze for this championship. So a lot to play out here. Slingsby has a comfortable lead, as you can see.
Look, Nick Thompson's strategy here is slightly difficult because he needs that position, as you've mentioned, in between him and the Germans. So he's going to want to try and, make things difficult for the German, but at the same time let that 3rd position breathe and sail quickly. So he's got quite a bit to think about here. Not only making his own boat go fast, but making sure he keeps that one place in between.
Aussie flags flying, and there'll have been plenty of cheers that he's again responded to. Right near the Royal Perth Yacht Club and heading towards those bottom markers. Thompson 3rd. Looks like Andrew Murdoch, the Kiwi, has moved into 2nd position, neck and neck between those 2 guys. Groteluschen now 4th, and Thompson moves in behind Murdoch. So that would change the silver and bronze equation, but we're not done yet in that fight. Slingsby at the bottom here, about to round the marker.
So we've got one more upwind to the final top mark rounding, then a downwind and a reach finish. So Slingsby stays in the lead. He's sticking with the same strategy, going out to this left-hand side to get the favourable angle and area of more wind. Coming into this bottom mark here, it's important here. Thompson needs to get in front of Andrew Murdoch from New Zealand, rounding that bottom mark now if he wants to take this silver medal.
Andreas Juritza, who we saw have that penalty for the collision early on, remains last in this event. He was fourth coming into the final.
Interestingly here, the Swedish sailor Johan Wigforss had a great downwind and he's overtaken Grodelusion, who was in second position leading into this race. So now we've got that boat in between Nick Thompson and Grodelusion. So at this stage now, Nick Thompson's still in the silver medal position.
Quick shout out to the other Australians in this field too, because there are 3 Aussies competing. We shouldn't forget that. Ashley Brunning doing a really good job right now in 6th place, and Tom Burton finds himself in 9th spot. Those guys have done an exceptional job just to get into the top 10. We know there's been a lot of energy and support for Tom Slingsby given the things that he's achieved, but I think that's a huge talking point that both those guys were also able to get into the top 10 to the final.
It is, and I think it's a huge credit to Tom Slingsby and his coach Michael Blackburn for being so open with their, sharing their talent and skills,
nurturing,
and
helping him, helping those guys,
really mentoring these younger sailors to move up through the rankings. And it's important, Ashley Brunning and Tom Burton, that they finish in this top 10 because it means they'll be funded by the Australian sailing team for next year. Now, Ashley Brunning, who was in 7th coming into this race, has actually had a difficult year. He had a bad back injury and couldn't sail the Olympic test event and sail for Gold Regatta, so he really needed this good performance to have the financial backing for next year.
Yeah, we don't often appreciate just the sacrifices that are made to get to things like the Olympics, to get to things like the World Championships here. It's great to see them in action. Awesome battle going on here between Murdoch and Thompson. They're placed in very different spots on the racetrack right now as you watch on the graphic. Slingsby at the top of the field. 33 is the New Zealander, Andrew Murdoch. 22 is the German, Simon Grotelution.
Slingsby here just covering, protecting his position, sailing very cruisy on this upwind. He's a confident sailor, he's got the experience, he knows how to keep the lead when he's in front.
Very stable conditions for the sailors. These guys have just lost a little bit of boat speed by comparison to Slingsby, it would seem.
It looks like they're in an area of lighter wind here, so they're just trying to, maybe they've gone in too close to that rock wall and got in a slight wind shadow there, but coming back out into the centre of the course, the pressure's building again. You can see the waves out here are pretty steep for these guys. They're having to be very active with their body movements, moving backwards and forwards you want to minimise how much you use the rudder, because every time that rudder moves in the water it creates drag and slows you down. So the more you can steer the boat using your trimmings with the sail and with your body weight, the faster you're going to go.
Nick Thompson, 2nd and 3rd at seesaws with Andrew Murdoch. Grodelution back to 5th now. Wigforss, the Swedish sailor, finds himself in 4th place. As you can see there, they're working toward that top mark. Slingsby said at the Yachting Australia Awards earlier in the year that he paid a great deal of respect to John Bertrand, who's been a real mentor for Tom along the way. And you guys know, because you're in the community, you're close, they've nicknamed Tom the Wind Whisperer. He's great at knowing where it's coming from, what to do and how to harness it almost before it even arrives or is seen.
Yeah, you're right. Tom has an incredible instinct to understand and feel what's happening out on the water and to back himself with his decisions and win strategy. And look, we're very lucky in Australia to have a lot of big names like John Bertrand, Peter Gilmore, John Longley, who have really shown us the pathways and really mentored and enabled young sailors like Tom Slingsby to be mature enough to perform at this level at such a young age.
They've achieved a great many things, those guys, in all sorts of different categories, but going back just over 20 years ago, it was all about here. It was all about the America's Cup. They laid the foundations in many respects, and 2 decades on, sailing central once again off the coast of Fremantle. We're nearing the end of these championships, and it looks like being a golden finish. This guy here has had a remarkable week, Tom Slingsby, headed for that top mark. He leads the final event. the Laser gold medal race. Andrew Murdoch second, Nick Thompson is third. They are neck and neck, those two guys. Johan Wigforss from Sweden in fourth position. Grottolution has dropped to sixth, so that will affect the bronze and silver situation, but no dramas as far as the gold is concerned. Slingsby very much on target.
You can see the lasers here all very close together. There's 10 boats out there. They're all a one design class, so it comes down to the skill of each individual athlete. But because the boats are the same and there's not much equipment development, they are very close together. So a lot of focus on strategy, and there's not much in it. One mistake can cost you easily 5 places in the race.
We'll, at this point in time, welcome both Will McCloy and Matt Belcher, because, boys, you're in a great position. When this race concludes, they'll be able to head into the beach at Bathers Bay there. What's the atmosphere like with everyone on the boardwalk and things like that?
People are coming in and streaming into this area because it's a little bit unique.
We may have lost the boys there. We'll try and get them back.
Tom now approaching the top mark for the final time in this race. Sailed a clean start, conservative approach from the beginning. He knows he's fast. He's got the boat speed to beat all these guys on the water. So just clean. Once he's in front, he can easily cover the rest of the fleet and protect his position.
GBR3 is Nick Thompson. So he's had a good upwind leg. Second position now and back ahead of the Kiwi and Andrew Murdoch, and a couple of boat lengths between those two guys as they head for the top mark. Bit of congestion behind them.
It's critical here that Nick Thompson keeps one boat in between him and the German sailor Grottolution to take the silver medal in these World Championships.
I'll tell you who's ahead of Grottolution as well is Brunning. Ashley Brunning in 5th position at the moment. Goodison fighting with Grottolution as well, so Goodison actually getting ahead of the German as they rounded that marker, but it's Slingsby comfortably in the lead from Thompson, who is again really enjoying the downwind leg. Murdoch, what can he produce, the Kiwi?
Now the Kiwis and Australians are renowned for being good at sailing in strong wind and in these rough conditions. You know, speaking to Tom earlier today, he was just hoping for consistent strong wind to make it easy for him in this race, because the lighter the conditions, the more unstable, the more random the conditions, the harder it is to predict what's going to happen and know where you want to put your boat on the race course.
Matt, Will, what's the atmosphere like there? We're all waiting for Slingsby to come in. It's not over yet, I know, but everyone must be excited about this.
Well, that's right. There's 3 Australians on the water, but there's a bunch more right here on the Bathers Bay as everyone flocks down here to try and get a look at the sailors up close and personal. And it's, you know, there's not many places, Matty, where someone can win a gold medal, an Aussie, and you can be right there.
Oh, it's fantastic. What a great opportunity for Australian sailing, and also the Australian community to be able to see sailing so close. The atmosphere is fantastic down here.
The people in Fremantle have got a long history of sailing, but they're really embracing this World Championships, aren't they?
Oh, it's been unbelievable to be able to compete in this environment, and obviously Tom winning his 4th World Championship. Very soon he'll be on the beach, and the public can be able to share in his reward.
So good to see gold across so many classes. It just shows that the Australian sailing team's going from strength to strength and peaking at the right time.
Certainly, it's a credit to our institutes, it's a credit to the Australian sailing team management and our coaches. We look forward to London, and hopefully we can deliver the same.
We're looking forward to London too. Might not get the weather like this though, mate. What's going to go on with that? You reckon it's going to be as sunny as this? I don't think so.
I know so.
Boys, we'll let you concentrate there, because Slingsby is already celebrating, acknowledging the crowd, thanking them for their support. He has ridden on that here all week long, and especially today. Grottolution, we look back, he's dropped to 8th position right now. Thompson has made huge ground on this downwind leg, some 60. His advantage over Murdoch at one point was about 60 metres. Wigforss is 4th.
You can see the lasers don't have the pumping flag like we've seen in some of the earlier medal races today. So they've got to be careful. They have a really rolling style on the downwind. They lean their body weight in, bring that mast over to windward, and Nick Thompson's just done a great job in generating the speed. Tom Slingsby around the final bottom mark on his last leg to the finish. He's looking pretty happy here, back in the boat. Beautiful race from Tom. He just kept it clean, used his boat speed to his advantage. Hiking out over the side here, the crowds are just going to go crazy.
It's a lesson in sailing. He wins the world title at home. One of the most special moments of Tom Slingsby's career. It's World Championship gold at home.
That's his 4th world title he's won in the laser class in the last 5 years. Phenomenal effort.
We look back to Grottolution now, and we'll verify for you what's going to happen as far as the silver and bronze situation is concerned. Thompson across the line in 2nd place. New Zealand 33. Andrew Murdoch will get there. Look at this.
Look, and Nick Thompson from Great Britain has got the silver medal because Andrew Murdoch from New Zealand is finishing in 3rd, so he's managed to get 1 place in between him and the German Grottolution. So look, Nick Thompson and Tom Slingsby, training partners here. They're going to be so happy for each other.
What a disappointment for Grottolution. 2nd coming into the final. He's had a horrible last 2 legs to this race. Slingsby cooling off after working hard all week long.
It has been a long week for these guys, you know, testing conditions. They're pretty happy to have that sea breeze today. But Tom, 5 wins from 10 races. Phenomenal effort, the most amount of wins out of any boat on in this regatta.
Great work too by Ashley Brunning to finish in 6th position. Grottolution will get 7th in the end. It's quite a fight.
Very well, man. He is a world champion. Take a deep breath, Tom, and tell me how good this moment feels.
It's amazing. I mean, the big crowd and everyone watching and sail so well. It's just a great feeling. I'm so proud and it's just amazing.
You've really won this in style. Cool, confident on shore, and so focused on the water.
Yeah, I knew I had the speed. I know how to win. I've won before, so the nerves don't really get to me too much. So it's all a matter of if I put it together on the day, I know I can do it.
Last Olympic Games in Beijing, I mean, terrible, terrible, terrible memories. Are the demons of those Olympics, well, have you put them to bed today?
I think so. I know I've been slowly working away at proving that those demons are gone, and I've won pretty much every event I've set my sights on, so I think they're gone. I'm ready to go again.
Well, with that victory, Australia is top nation at these World Championships. What does that mean to you and to the team?
We're just such a good team. We're a small team, but we bat up the order. We bat quite well above our weight, and yeah, we've showed that here, and we did it in front of our home country and our home fans, so it's just great.
I spoke to you at the beginning of the event and you said you wanted to be unbeaten in the run-up to the Olympic Games. I mean, you didn't just beat them, you did it with great style.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm always trying to win by further and further, and you saw me yesterday. I was very angry because I didn't win with a day to spare, and that's just the way I am. I'm a perfectionist, and if I'm not winning by a long way, I'm not happy, so I'm happy now though.
Best moment of your life?
It's right up there, yeah, for sure. It's great. Can't beat it.
That's a great smile. Enjoy the moment. Great day for Australia.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great day for Australia at these championships. A great day for Tom, the gold medal. Nick Thompson, we're told the confirmation, silver for him after finishing 2nd in this race. And the race results actually, Tessa, reflect the medal positions. The Kiwi, Andrew Murdoch, because Grottolution has had a couple of tough final legs to this race, he's disappeared out of medal contention unbelievably. And Murdoch has secured the bronze.
It was very close going into this medal race, only 4 points separating 2nd to 6th position. So it was really open as to who beat who. Nick Thompson from GBR and Andrew Murdoch had fantastic results, finishing 2nd and 3rd, and they've won that silver and bronze medal.
He talked about, you know, erasing the demons there. You know, he'll carry huge confidence into Weymouth. He's already had some good results there. We've talked about that already, and beating, you know, the likes of Thompson, his mate, and even Paul Goodison at home, that will well and truly put Beijing behind him if he can do that.
It will. Look, Paul Goodison, who beat Tom, was the gold medalist from Beijing in 2008, has finished 5th here, so Tom's clearly got the lead. He'll take a lot of confidence from that moving forward.
We'll take a commercial break and come back and wrap up these amazing championships live from Perth. They've seen Super Slingsby score gold in the final race here at these championships, and it was a mega afternoon too when you look at the performance in the 49ers. We'll deal with that in a moment. Here are the final point standings for you, and as we said, it's a confirmation in terms of the top three of the race results. Slingsby the gold, Nick Thompson the silver, and Andrew Murdoch the bronze.
Yeah, fantastic. Tom Slingsby winning overall by 19 points. That's his 4th World Championship title in the laser event. So what a day for Australia.
Now, we talked about it while the sailors were actually out on the water there. Just in terms of the medal or World Championship results, take a look at this here. This is after more than 2 weeks of competition. Australia has scored 3 gold medals. The Netherlands picked up 2, with obviously Marit Bouwmeester doing a wonderful job in the laser radial to kick things off, and they scored another today in the RSX men's with Dorian van Rijsselberg. But it's Australia, in terms of that gold, that really is on top as a nation. That's wonderful when you consider that it was the home championships. There's the final standings of the golds. Matt Belcher, who was a part of our coverage today on the water and did a terrific job with Malcolm Page, laying the foundations last week, and then today, what a golden Sunday. Nathan Outridge and Ian Jensen, Goobs did a wonderful job, so did Nathan. And Tom Slingsby has wrapped up the day. I don't know about you, I'm not even taking part in this. You guys are, and I'm exhausted. It's been a fantastic couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Look, Australia is now in a phenomenal position leading into the London Olympic Games, and Viktor Kovalenko, head coach, he has won 7 gold medals at the Olympic Games. Look, this is the strongest position they've ever been in history. We had 2 gold medals and 1 silver in Beijing in 2008, but look, 3 #1 teams in the world now. It's pretty incredible.
Why are we so good? It's special to win championships at home. That goes for any competitor at any nation, but you know, we had good strength coming in all sorts of different classes, didn't we?
Look, there's a lot of depth in Australia now, and you know, Tom Slingsby's just got a really unique style, a different skill set to everyone else out there, and there's a lot of confidence, and a lot of Australians, I think, in sport we see are willing to put in a lot of hours, make a huge commitment and a lot of sacrifice to get to the pinnacle. And you know, once you've got people move through the generations, it shows you the pathway that you've got to follow to, you know, to follow in their footsteps and win things like Olympic gold medals. It's impressive.
So it'll be a quiet night for the sailors, won't they? They won't be out there having celebrating it all, will they?
Look,
the celebrations have probably started. Let's ask Will McCloy. He's with Matt Belcher on the beach at Bathers Bay. Boys, I would imagine it's a pretty special feeling, and Tom too.
I've lost Matt Belcher, but I've got the new world champion. Tom, you've just waded out of the water. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. It's just such a great feeling in front of everyone on the grandstands, and everyone cheering your name. It doesn't happen too often in sailing, so it's a pretty surreal feeling.
A 4th world championship, had a capsize at the end when you jumped off the boat, mate.
Yeah, I just thought it's a bit hot here, I might jump off, and yeah, the boat went into the water. It's all right.
It's so hard mentally when you're the favourite to come in, to keep the pressure under wraps all week. You must be just feeling so much relief right now.
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, I've probably talked the talk a lot this week, and this morning I was thinking, geez, I've said I'm going to win all week, and pressure's on now, so I'm glad I came through.
Relax over Christmas, and then we're looking towards London. What's the plan?
Exactly the same as here. I want to win by further. I don't want to have to do the medal race, so that's the ultimate plan.
But time for a couple of beers tonight, I hope.
Oh, plenty. Yeah, celebrate.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice work, yeah. So the celebrations will start tonight, but you can tell there's that intensity in his words there. He really does want to do the job at London now.
There is, and there's quite a fight between Nathan Outridge and Ian Jensen in the 49er and Tom Slingsby in the laser. Even though they're in different events, they're very, very competitive. And you know, Tom had a 14-point lead going into this medal race. Nathan and Ian had a 17-point lead. So look, let's see if they continue this into London.
The boys like that thought of trying to get the job done before we get to the gold medal race. While the focal point at the end of our coverage here has very much been on Tom Slingsby, we should make the point that the day started superbly in the 49ers for Outridge and Jensen, didn't it?
It did. Look, I think they want that you know, points lead going into that last race because it is close to the shore. There's a lot more distractions than you're normally under in the 40-boat fleet races. It's a sprint race. It counts for double. If you can get an edge going into that, it really does take the pressure off.
Let's go back to the beach at Bathers Bay there. A big thanks to Matt Belcher Belcher for taking part and being one of our experts on the water. Thanks to Will. It's been a great championships, boys.
Isn't it been a fantastic championship? And can I just say at this point that Matt didn't join me in the water because he didn't want to get wet. He was very keen. But, Matty, how fantastic has the regatta been? What a fantastic finish.
Oh, it's unbelievable, Australia to be able to perform like we did. 3 golds from this the last 2 weeks of racing. It's great confidence building up to London, and hopefully we can continue that success.
Good to see a big crowd as well. Can I just grab John for a second? John, a regatta from from your standpoint, what a great finish.
Oh, absolutely. I just cannot believe we have had such a good day. To see literally thousands and thousands of people down here watching Olympic sailing, to see them so close, to have this gorgeous Fremantle day, and to see the incredible excitement and enthusiasm for people. I mean, this is sailing. This is a Tier 3 sport, let's face it. And to have this day that we've had, I just over the moon, over the moon.
You sound over the moon. Congratulations from all of us. It's been fantastic to cover it, and what a great finish.
Yeah, can I thank Channel 10 for what they've done. You know, they bought into this a long time ago. They backed us. They said they knew that we could actually turn on the images, turn on the personalities, turn on the people, and I just want to thank Channel 10 for their real support of this. It's very special.
Thank you very much, John, and thanks for all your efforts. It's been a great couple of weeks.
Thank you.
We'll go back to the studio now, and look, 2 legends of the sport. What could be better?
Nice work, Will, and thanks, as we said, to Matt Belcher. Let's take a look at what's coming your way as we wrap up our coverage here. We look ahead to a special highlight show, which is coming your way on Network 10 on Saturday afternoon, on Christmas Eve, in fact, between 3 and 4 p.m. Just check your guides there, depending upon where you're tuning in. We'll recap all the gold medal success from 2 big weeks of competition. A big thanks to you. We're all in agreement. We want to see you back in a boat for the games in Brazil. Go get them. Go and get another gold.
Thanks very much. It's been a great opportunity for me, and I've loved working with you, so thank you.
We've enjoyed it. Tessa Parkinson with us for our coverage. Our thanks to Will McCloy, Kylie King and all of the team. That's it from the championships. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Greg Rust. Bye for now.